All right, we got one to add to the Florida files, baby. And I'm going over this for the first time with y'all. This is pure reaction, okay? We got to get back to the live streams. I haven't been doing live streams lately. I'll get back to that eventually, but this is just a pure reaction with y'all, okay? And this is so very Florida. Speaking of this, this reminds me of Rick Scott, who, him what was it, over $1 billion scheme with Medicare, and now he's a senator. But I guess that's neither here nor there. Florida Mother Teresa, who operated $200 million Ponzi scheme, sentenced to 20 years in prison. Well, I hope it was worth it. I hope 20 years of your life being robbed from you, including your reputation and the rest of your life potential being taken, rightfully so. I hope it was worth it. When people do stuff like this, it always just blows me away. Like, one, I don't know why you thought you was gonna get away with some shit like this. And then two, people often have so long to reverse course or to change their minds or to just stop, and they don't do it. Similar to Alex Jones, who amassed a multi-million-dollar empire just to throw it all away because for 10 years he couldn't be like, you know what, Sandy Hook victims, this actually was real. It happened, and I'm sorry for lying. He just couldn't do that. His pride just wouldn't allow him to do it. Still to this day, he plays the victim. So let's go ahead and check this out because, man, I mean, I don't know what this woman was thinking. A Florida woman who pleaded guilty to operating a nearly $200 million Ponzi scheme was sentenced on Tuesday to 20 years in prison. Joanna Garcia, a 41-year-old woman from Broward County known as Mother Teresa in her community, received the maximum possible sentence for one count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and mail fraud. The court dismissed 28 other counts from her indictment. Well, I guess they didn't really need to. I guess they was like, okay, 20 years is enough. Your life's ruined. That'll do. That'll do. Judge Jose Martinez on the the Southern District of Florida also sentenced Garcia to 3 years of supervised release, $100 special assessment. What does that even mean? A $100 special assessment and additional restitution to be determined March 3rd, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Great looking woman, definitely a great looking woman right here. But you went a little too far, and yeah, congratulations. Garcia controlled MJ Capital Funding, which sought investments from backers by promoting high cost loans called merchant cash advances, Jesus. According to court documents, Garcia and her co-conspirators unlawfully enriched themselves by soliciting investor funds through materially false and fraudulent representations and promises, prosecutors said in the court filing. The group told investors their funds would be used to back these short-term high-cost loans and promise sizable returns of 10% per month. And 10% a month on returns. I mean, that sounds like a scam on its face. Every month you're gonna get 10% return because why? Okay. An annualized rate of 120%. Yeah, I mean, that just sounds like a scheme on its face, but hey, a lot of people are gullible out here. Maybe they're in hard times, whatever it may be. But I mean, that on its face just sounds like a Ponzi scheme. Get 10% returns a month for nothing. The miracle investments were so profitable that Garcia was often referred to as Mother Teresa in her community, the MJ Capital website, which has since been taken down, claimed. But the company issued few of these loans and failed to earn the profits it promised investors. Of course, of course. Quote, as a result, Garcia paid investors by running a large Ponzi scheme fraud, paying existing investors using new investor funds while misappropriating millions of dollars for her own personal benefit. This type of shit. Again, like when people do this, it's like, why do you think you're going to get away with this in the long run? Especially considering that the US government is used to beating these types of things. Like it's not the first time they've seen this. And with modern technology, it's even harder to get away with stuff like this. But I mean, come on, man. All right, so we continue. Garcia and MJ Capital's insiders spent millions of dollars to fund their own luxurious lifestyles, including frequent travel, high-end clothing, crypto assets, and luxury vehicles, according to the Securities and Exchange Commission. The scam, which Garcia operated from October 2020 through October 2021, raked in around $190 million. Investors lost nearly 90 million. So all you did all this for 1 year, and now you about to be in prison for 20 years, all for 1 year of balling out. I mean, and like imagine how people feel when they're in these positions. I mean, some people obviously don't care at all, but you gotta just feel like a complete fool. Was balling out for a year or a couple of years really worth 2 decades of living in the human zoo? 'Cause that's what prison is. It's a human zoo. I don't think so, but apparently you did. In 2021, MJ Capital investors filed a lawsuit against Wells Fargo and accused the bank of failing to prevent the multi-million dollar fraud. In March of 2023, Wells Fargo agreed to pay $26.6 million to settle the suit. Garcia's partner, Pavel Ramon Ruiz Hernandez, was charged in August of 2022 and pleaded guilty in April of 2023 to one count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud. In September of 2023, he was sentenced to 9 years and 2 months in prison, along with 3 years of supervised release. The FBI and SEC shut down the fake capital funding group in 2021, but Garcia and Hernandez soon launched another one in the fall that year, according to court records. Oh yeah, they're just straight criminals. I mean, obviously you're a criminal to just do this in the first place, but as soon as it got shut down, they went and did another one. You just con artists through and through. This is who they are. So you absolutely deserve the 20 years because clearly you're a scammer. That's what you are. That's who you are. So I didn't have any sympathy for you before we got to this paragraph, but now I extra don't have any sympathy for you because you did it again, which is probably why you got an additional, what your partner, what did it say? He got 9 years and 2 months. Garcia led the new Ponzi scheme up until her arrest and after, while she was in the Bureau of Prisons custody, prosecutors said on Tuesday. New Beginning Global Funding, New Beginning Capital Funding, Lionheart Capital Group, and other entities were used to solicit investments that would be used to fund commercial loans. Instead, Garcia Hernandez and other co conspirators pocketed some of the money and used the rest to pay off previous investors. A classic Ponzi scheme. Garcia's attorneys tried to argue that Hernandez was the true mastermind behind the Ponzi schemes, that Garcia's New Beginning groups, though deeply misguided and plainly wrong, were formed to pay back former investors. So yeah, we formed another Ponzi scheme to pay back the people that we ripped off the first time by ripping off more people. Because look, if you're not getting these massive returns on your investment, there's no extra money to pay people back with. So obviously that's why that didn't fly in court because it's like, okay, give me a break. You try to pay back some people you scammed by running another scam. Yeah, no. The U.S. Attorney's Office said overwhelming evidence indicated Garcia was leading the schemes. Yeah, that hey, I just you walked right into this one. Absolutely no sympathy whatsoever. You don't deserve any sympathy. And not only did you do it once and get caught, you did it twice and got caught again. Hey now. Thank you so much for tuning in here at Politics and Paper. If you like what I do and you support my work, go ahead and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it and it really helps to support what we do here.